Hello, everyone. You're listening to the Eiffel Tower podcast. My name is Oliver G.
I am Lena Norden G.
And together, we're going around the whole of Paris, arrondissement by arrondissement, 20-1, the Paris countdown.
And it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Don't you think?
Especially when you come to an arrondissement like the 14th, which I'm prepared to rave about.
I know, you haven't shut up about it.
This arrondissement, I'm calling it the surprise package because there were so many cool surprises. I think it gets a reputation of being a little out of the way, a little untouristy, but you guys have been missing out if that's been your approach to this district because there's a lot going on here.
Definitely.
We're going to play some music here, and as with last week, it's related to something in the 14th. So while it's playing, see if you can figure it out. This is from Press Maxon again. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it. Oh, did you get it?
I mean, I did.
You already knew?
No. But oh my god, isn't he good? He's so good.
Yeah, he's good.
Press Maxon.
Talented guy.
Very.
So this song that you just heard is related to the 14th district. Some people at home will be like, I knew what that was.
Yeah.
So it's the right time.
I can really feel those hands waving in the air.
It is a song by Serge Gainsbourg, the sort of bad boy Bob Dylan of France. The song is called Le Poinçonneur de Lilas.
That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful.
Yeah.
Poinçonneur des Lilas.
Delila. And what does it mean?
It's the person who punches your ticket on the metro. And the reason that we picked that song is because Serge Gainsbourg is buried in the 14th arrondissement, and we saw his grave, and there's something cool about it.
It is. Should we talk about it now?
No, we're going to go on to it. But first, I want to say Prez, who's composing these songs for us, he said this was his biggest challenge yet because he hadn't heard it. It's a fast song. And the way Gainsbourg sings, it brings so much personality to the melody that can't be replicated on an instrument in quite the same way.
But still, he went for it.
He nailed it, as usual.
Yeah.
He said the longer version, which will be on the YouTube video, has a little bit of... he played a little bit with the middle of it. So you guys can check that out. But we're here to talk about the 14th.
Yes.
Now, who are we to define a district?
Who are we but mere imbecile?
Exactly. Someone who's not an imbecile, mere or otherwise, is Vero. Véronique from France with Vero. Now, flashback. Time for a flashback. I went ahead to this district and did a walk in the Vanves flea market because it was on your bucket list. And I know,
it's so annoying. So I still haven't been. But I looked at your video and it looked really cool.
So I'll talk about that in a second. But first, I asked Vero while we were out there, I said, how would you define the 14th arrondissement for someone who's never heard of it or never been there?
What did she say?
Well, here's what she said.
The 14th arrondissement. For me, it's a little bit out of the way because it's at the end of the left bank and many visitors don't make it here. I love it because it's authentic, it's real. Montparnasse is the best known area because of the roaring 20s, the cafe culture. So people will come and see that, the catacombs, of course. But there's also a great market street, Rue Daguerre. But as far as I'm concerned, I think my favorite place, because I went back recently, is the Vanves Flea Market. That's also in the 14th arrondissement. Lots to do, lots to see, non-touristy arrondissement, wonderful.
Oh, I love it. Sold.
Yeah, sold. She knows that stuff.
Much like the palette that was sold to you.
Yep.
And given to me.
So what we did is Vero and I did a walk show, a live walk show, which is a sort of perk for Patreon members. Welcome to all the new members and to all you guys who watched that video. You know what I'm talking about. We went out there early in the morning. It's kind of the other flea market of Paris. And it was really cool. Highly recommend that place. I'm going to do a full blog post about it. But it's like, imagine, like when you go to the main flea market that everyone knows, the Saint-Ouen, I feel like you're always getting ripped off. That's how I feel.
I feel like, well, maybe not ripped off, but you don't there are no bargains.
You're definitely not getting a deal.
There are no bargains run there.
No. And they know it.
Yeah.
It's famous. Like,
they know it, you know it.
Some other schmuck is coming along. Whereas this one, I felt like
maybe
it was more of a...
those guys buy from the Vanves flea
Would not
market.
surprise me. Would not surprise me.
you
So
go.
the word we're saying, Vanves, Vanves. I'm not going to spell anything else because it's all in the show notes, on the website, in the YouTube description. Vanves.
Vanves.
And it was really cool. And I bought you
A palette, a painting palette.
Like
and
a-
it's beautiful. It's like a vintage wooden panel palette.
Yeah, and a lot of people will be saying, Oliver, why did you get a wooden panel palette for Lena?
A wooden panel palette.
Because it's obviously for right-handed people, a
Yeah.
typical old wooden palette like that.
Yeah,
No problem.
Typical. Just switch it over.
Yeah, flip it upside
Flip it.
So we got that, and I also bought a vinyl
Mm-hmm.
of Edith Piaf's Milord, which I said, we talk. By the way, we don't have a vinyl player.
No.
So just, I don't know,
Not at
put
all.
that on
Looks
the shelf.
cool though.
But that is another example of things we found in other districts coming back. Because the 20th arrondissement, we talked about Milord,
Yeah.
Edith Piaf. Now we're in the 14th,
It's
we're
a
buying it.
red thread running all over the place.
Red thread. So
Yeah.
Vanves Flea Market, totally worth it. You feel like you're getting good deals. You feel like the stuff is kind of interesting. A lot of knife rests. Like silver knife rest, things you put
Not
your
very
cutlery
popular.
on. Yeah, they
Good
couldn't
price,
sell them.
bargain.
If you want knife
the
rests,
only
it's the
thing
place to
that's
go.
a bargain in Paris. Knife rest. You bought another thing though. You remember? Little tickets.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
forgot.
did. You bought little-
1966 metro tickets, used metro tickets.
Which kind of comes back into the whole story.
And we'll get to the Montparnasse.
red thread continues.
Wow, we'll get to the Montparnasse Cemetery in a second. But what we're going to do, we don't usually take this long to get into the 24 hours, but so much extra stuff happened.
No, it was a very it was a jam-packed 24 hours.
And it was so cool. And I want to say, I think a lot of people coming to Paris as tourists can empathize with what I felt going to the 14th because we never go there. Even though it's really close to where we live, it just feels a bit far out.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of things I've always wanted to do there.
Yeah.
And then when we booked this hotel that you're about to hear about, this really cool hotel, I saw on the map that it was really close to all the things I wanted to do. And every time I found something that was close...
giddy.
Yeah, I was giddy.
You were giddy.
I was giddy.
Yeah.
I
All
was
right.
excited to find it. And-
Giddy up. Let's get into this.
yeah, okay. Well, let's start with the hotel. I've got it all listed. We're going to go through it all really quickly
Okay,
because there's so
perfect.
much to get through. The hotel we stayed at was exceptional.
Oh my goodness. The service, the customer service, the welcome we got was just above and beyond.
And they didn't know that we were podcasting. They didn't know we'd
No,
be
we're just
talking
normal
about...
guests.
Yep, we signed in as normal guests.
Yeah.
It's called the Cabane Hotel. And the reason I chose this one is it's got a little bit of a gimmick, which the whole point of staying in hotels is to find things. Like, we're not just going to try and stay in nice hotels all the time.
Just like a good enough hotel.
Yeah,
But yeah,
the gimmick
something
here
a
was
bit
that
special.
it was a wood cabin in Paris with a garden.
Yeah.
Like a Scandinavian wood cabin.
Yeah. And you literally have your own garden that
Yeah.
you can sit and they come and serve breakfast to you on your bed if you want and they can bring it out to the garden
we
if you
wanted-
want. And we wanted it.
And there was
and it was
no
great.
there's no neighbors whatsoever. As in no one to any side of you, no one above you, no one below you.
Perfect.
So rare
What a
for
screaming
Paris.
baby.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Julene for babysitting. Thanks very much.
Yes, Julie, thank you.
But we loved it, and they treated us exceptionally well.
Oh, it was I mean 5+ stars.
Shout out to, I think Lolita was her name, who offered to be a babysitter for Otis. She fell in love with him.
Yeah. She was like, really? No, really?
And it was just so cool. Like, it was just like this kind of escape from the mad city, and also very well located.
Amazing.
Right by, onto the next thing already, this amazing little street called Rue des
Thermopyles,
which is, I've heard about it before, and maybe even a guest has talked about it on the podcast before, but it's like this charming little cobbled alley.
Yeah.
I think cars could go down it, but it seemed pedestrian. Like, as in there was a parked car there. the
With
second time around.
colourful doors and a lot of greenery, like a lot of plants.
You know what it
potted
reminded me of?
plants
A lot
everywhere.
of people talk about that Rue Crémieux in the 12th.
Yeah.
Lame.
This was like a smaller, more authentic
Yep.
almost
I felt
version
it
of
was
that.
I felt like you were elsewhere in France.
yeah.
Didn't it?
Yeah. It was
And
like
you
an
got-
enchanted
you
little.
got your photo on.
I got my photo.
I was walking down and I turned around, there was like 200 meters behind me.
I know.
Like, you were like laying on the floor, getting the angle.
You know, it inspired me. What can I say?
That was cool. Pictures will be on the blog. So we walked down there and we got to the market street that Vero mentioned, Rue Daguerre. And people had said to me it's a bit like Rue Claire. And I was like, we walked down the first half of it.
Whatever.
Rue Claire in the 7th, which I think we've raved about before. Walked halfway down. I was like, this ain't no Rue Claire. I was about to take a point off in our scores at the end.
Really?
Yeah, until we got to the other half, the pedestrian half. And I was like, yep, okay, this is where it starts.
And it was exactly like Rue Claire, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's really similar. Very similar
kind of
shops.
Yeah.
But then, like halfway through that street, we found an opening to the side.
Because what we're doing with these arrondissements, because we're only there for 24 hours, we're like, we sort of plan out everything, but leave room for magic. And shout out to Charlotte, who's helping with the planning.
And sometimes it is magic, and sometimes it's just like, wah, wah.
Yeah.
Because we can't find anything.
I'm talking about the 15th arrondissement.
What? No.
So we walked past like a sort of another alleyway of Rue Daguerre, and we found that there is a crepe place.
Yeah.
It was called La Belle Ronde. Now, you sort of walk in, and we were like, this is great. This is exactly what we wanted. Crepes, because of the 14th has this reputation of this Breton influence. Crepes are from crepes and galettes are from Brittany, because the Montparnasse station serves the west of France and Brittany. So when all the people were about to go home to Brittany or come back, they want to get their crepes and their ciders nearby. So we wanted to get a little taste of that, and boom, we found this place.
We found the perfect place. So you're on the road, well, the street, which I forgot the name of.
Daguerre.
Rue Daguerre. And then you just pop a right, depending on what direction you come from, and you walk through this tiny little alley, and it looks like a garden tent.
Because there's this
Like a
huge
garden
magnolia
party
tree.
tent.
Remember the magnolia tree just over the whole
I
thing?
know, it was great.
So you can sit outside of the tent, which is what we
Under
did.
the magnolia tree.
Because you had a great quote. I actually wrote it down.
Really?
Yeah.
What did
You
I
said
say?
because you weren't a fan of the interior.
Oh, maybe not.
The
No,
terrace
not so
and the
much.
magnolia tree are amazing.
Yeah, sit outside. It's all about the outside.
Food was good.
Yeah, no,
was
it's
perfect,
good.
yeah.
Good crepes.
You said that the interior looked like a bubblegum spaceship crossed with a canteen for Teletubbies. Yeah, I wrote it down. It's an amazing description.
Wow,
Yeah.
I wonder what,
You could get a
what
job.
all you at home are thinking now, and I wonder if it corresponds with the reality.
I think it's I think they're thinking
Yeah.
exactly what it was like. But if you go there, eat on the terrace, because you don't want to be, that's not what you want.
No, leave the Teletubbies at home.
You know what was cool about Rue Daguerre? We walked down it. Big deal. I've walked under it before. Do you know who gets their second shout out of the season?
No,
The Comte,
the Comte.
Saint-Germain.
Yeah, the one and only.
Who, it's a double shout out because he's really into the season. He's a Parisian. He knows the city really well. He dresses up as a what's it called when you can't die?
A Comte.
Yeah, but
No.
there's a word when you're
immortal.
Immortal, yeah. He dresses up as an immortal count with a top hat. You know he dresses up, right?
Yeah, I've
And
seen
he-
his videos.
And he took
He looks
me.
great.
He took me under this district into the catacombs. So that episode from 6 months ago or whatever was with him, and I actually met with him. I didn't record his voice, unfortunately. You can hear him in that episode, getting tips for things to do. One thing that he did tell me to do that we didn't do, but I did it after I met with him, is the oldest urinal in Paris is in the 14th. It's kind of cool if you're into urinals, but nobody make the
bet
trek.
there's a pun here. There's a good pun around here, but I cannot seem to find it.
Well, I tell you what, it was out of the way. You could say it was off-piste.
Yeah, very good.
But it's not. I tell you what, it's not worth it. It's cool because you can take a nice picture of this really sort of ancient urinal that's next to a prison. You can hear the prison. I was there at night. You can hear the
Yeah.
prisoners like yelling to each other at night. It's kind of weird. But
Yeah, speaking of not touristy. Wow.
well, when I went to this urinal, I was taking a picture. A taxi driver pulled over, used the urinal. I looked like it was flooding. It's an old urinal. You don't want to go there.
Okay,
I'll share a
yeah.
picture. I
Let's
took a
not
really
talk about
beautiful
this.
picture of it though.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
Oh, we talk about it more.
Anyway, Comte, he gave a lot of other really good recommendations. But we got to go quicker.
Yeah.
So, from
From the crepes.
the crepes, we did a jaunt of museums.
Yeah,
now,
we
what I
did.
figured we could do, and we'll have to do these quickly, is essentially there was 3. The first one I went to by myself. It's the Bunker, the Resistance Museum.
Yeah.
It's not pushchair friendly.
No.
You have to go down, I think it's 100 steps to get in there. It was cool. If you're into the Second World War, go to this museum. Did I say it was free to get in?
No.
Free to get in, which is great.
That sounds great.
You can put a donation in
What was
to
the
leave.
highlight?
The highlight was the bunker.
The bunker.
It's all
what
about
was
the bunker.
like?
Yeah. Well, I took lots of
was
videos.
The bunker
and
like?
pictures. It was cool because they had like old gas masks in there, but in display behind glass. So the whole bunker was stripped. Everything was gone. But they had a few sort of mementos down there of the Second World War and the resistance and everything. Interesting. If you're not into the Second World War, probably not a place to get started on it. But if you are, you should go there immediately and you'll appreciate it a lot. Second museum we popped into, you found as we walked past.
So while you were down in the bunker, me and Otis, our son, we took a walk around the block and found this Institute of Giacometti, the Giacometti Institute, and that rang a bell.
There'll be people at home saying, who's Giacometti?
Alberto Giacometti. And
He's Swiss.
Swiss, yes, okay. And he did these really tall, skinny sculptures, often in bronze. And he lived in Paris.
Yeah, and so this museum was like a reconstructed studio of his.
Yeah.
Most of his work,
Exactly.
it had books, it had paintings, it had lots of the skinny sculptures.
Yeah.
Sculptures, gosh.
Why is it so hard?
For everyone at home, you're listening to an edited version of this podcast because neither of us have been able to determine the difference between sculpture and sculpture. Let's move on. I will say this about it. The museum was intriguing, small, not wheelchair friendly, not pram friendly.
No, but it was really beautiful. It was like a combination of Art Deco, Art Nouveau, and it was all like original. It was really beautiful, the building.
That library was incredible.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll share pictures of it on social media. Another reason to follow on social media. What we did next was we went to the Montparnasse Cemetery, but I'm going to pause to just change the mood a little bit here.
Okay.
Because we got some, can we say fan mail? Can you use the word fan mail?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're going to pull out
It was
here.
definitely from a fan.
Okay.
And they sent a picture that it's about you.
Oh.
Yeah, it's an email about you, and it made me really laugh. And I thought I'd save it to share with you. So it's got a picture as well, so I'm going to show you the picture.
Okay.
So this is a message from Victoria on Instagram, and she said, I am aware that this is the weirdest message ever. I haven't showed Lena this yet. I'm aware this is the weirdest message ever, but today I saw these mannequins in a shop, and I immediately thought, hey, they look a lot like Lena.
Are you serious?
And by that, I mean, no offense, they just look similar, especially the one on the left.
This is a Seinfeld episode. You
Oh,
know
yeah,
when
it is.
with Elaine?
Yeah, let's see if you agree. Do you want me to
God.
zoom in on the one on the left, or do you want to see
No,
them both?
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm nervous.
Ready?
Yeah,
Ready?
sure.
What do you think of the one on the left? Do you see it? What's with that hat? For you guys, I feel
Yeah,
like
that's funny.
firstly
Oh.
she looks angry.
I wonder if it's.
She definitely looks
It
angry.
looks like she has like a lot of chewing gum in her mouth in front of her teeth.
She's kind of got a pointy nose.
Yeah, I kind of. I mean, maybe.
We'll put it on social
Yeah,
media.
maybe. Well,
Anyway,
I
Victoria,
don't know.
thanks for the message. Keep them coming. No,
I
but
love it.
we have got more emails and messages and so on than ever before. So I'm pretty good at responding, but my apologies if I do a brief response because the feedback's been excellent. Now,
So good.
any comments on the
On the map.
Victoria?
No words.
No words,
But I
okay.
love it.
When we left Giacometti, we were right in front of the Montparnasse Cemetery. Really nice cemetery.
Yeah.
Much more manageable than Père Lachaise in the 20th.
Yeah.
Where we
it's
just zipped
flatter.
across, way flatter.
Yeah, it's more like New York. Père Lachaise is Paris. The Montparnasse Cemetery is New York.
In terms of grid line, nice and easy to find
Exactly.
things. And they've got really famous people buried there. Really famous.
Really famous.
Jacques Chirac,
Yeah.
we bumped into by accident.
Yeah,
His
he was just
grave.
there.
Yeah. Serge Gainsbourg, which is why we had the music today.
Maybe we should
Baudelaire.
talk about what's so special about his grave now. That makes sense.
Well, on his grave, they put metro tickets.
Yes.
And that's an obvious connection to the song that we played about the hole puncher. But what we found weird was when we stumbled, didn't even know it was there, we stumbled upon the grave of Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir, 50 times as many metro tickets
Yeah.
there.
Why?
And we asked some people why, and no one had any good answer.
No.
But Sartre had done a piece of work that had the word metro in it. I had it up before, I don't have it anymore. But other people had these. I've looked up definitions online. People say, it's like a transient journey through life, all this kind of stuff. Lots of
okay.
nonsense. But it made it. It was really beautiful, I thought.
Yeah.
And they put little stones on them so they didn't blow away.
Which grave was it that had lots of red lipstick kisses?
That was the same one. Yeah.
That
so
was
the
the
top
same
had lipstick
one.
and the bottom had the metro tickets.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's not packed like some parts of Père Lachaise are. And almost everything is within a stone's throw of our hotel.
Yeah.
So far. And it keeps getting better.
Giddy.
There's just so much that we kept finding. So we went back to the hotel, I think, and we put Otis to bed. Woohoo! Every YouTube video, I think you've been doing that so far. But there was a lot that we had that we wanted to check out, and especially the famous, iconic restaurants, which we'll get to in a second, because we dined there.
We sure did.
But first, we went for a stroll down the Rue de la Gaîté, Theatre Street, and bars. Loads of bar bistros, like terraces, really
It's
lively.
really bustling.
And the weather is getting good, so everyone was outside.
It's so good.
And you and I, at the same time, had a realization while filming for the YouTube video that street reminded us of, I think we both said Tennessee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
it
don't
did.
know, it wasn't just
Maybe
because
it was
of the
like
neon lights. It was more than that.
But maybe it's so many people out and about and lots of bars and I don't know what it was.
But we both just had this flashback.
Yeah, we thought it both of us.
Because we'd been through Nashville and Memphis on our big trip years back, and it just took us back there weirdly. But what we did is first we looked at, we were going to focus on this for the episode, but it didn't really work out that way. We checked out this sort of, it's hard to explain, this blue theatre called the Comédie Italienne.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't open, so we couldn't go inside.
No,
but we checked out the facade of it, and we managed to peek inside, and it looks really cool, and it's all old.
Well, that's the thing. The facade isn't that old, and we have to describe it. It's sort of bright, light blue. How would you describe it? I don't even know. Like, there's a lot going on. Why we were going to focus on it is because the town hall wants to pull it down. Even though I thought it was way older. It's only like 30 years old, but it looks like it might be gone. So if you're in Paris, you should go and look at it because it doesn't fit in Paris, and it makes it kind of...
It's kind of like... it looks like one of these hand puppet theaters, but
that's
big.
What it's like a marionette stall, but
it looks
huge.
like fake old.
Yeah, and I guess it is.
And I guess
it's from
it
the
is.
90s, I think.
Yeah.
It is. Anyway, they might pull it down. There's a big position to save it, but we're not going to focus on it because there's so much more to focus on. Like the bars, we went for a quick one at Le Tournesol.
Yeah.
Though that was cool, but I could recommend any along there by the looks of it.
And also they will all be pretty similar by the looks of it again.
But what we did do that's worth a mention is we had a cocktail at Rosebud. Rosebud, for anyone who has seen the movie Citizen Kane.
And hence the name.
Yeah, so there's a cinema vibe going on in there. Apparently all the philosophers used to hang out. Forrest Collins, who was on this podcast, recommended that place 5 years ago. And I've always wanted to go, and it was fun.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It was empty when we went there, but the staff were friendly. The bartender he was cool. Compared to Shangri-La, wow, what a difference.
Huge.
And you know when we were speaking French with him, and I remember I said to him, what did I have? I think I had the drink that
you weren't allowed. Yes.
Like a
you
dry
lived your
martini
dream.
or something.
I
Is
think
that what it was? A martini? I don't know. I got pictures of it, but I said to him after he made it, I said, that was really good. And instead of saying like, oh, thanks so much, he nodded as if to say...
He was like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is good. I made it. Like that's it's a nice way of being confident in your work without being nasty. So that place, definitely worth a look. And then we went to the iconic Dome restaurant.
Yeah, which
Le
is
Dome
just
Café.
around the corner.
Now, I think a lot of you will have heard of this place before. This is where Hemingway, F. Scott Fitzgerald, these kind of characters were kicking around in the olden days, in the 20s, I guess. And we were really curious about whether this would stand the test of time or be a tourist trap.
Exactly.
Now, this is also the place we got the photographer. Shout out to Jeremy Pritchard, who took the photos. New photographer this week. Did a sterling job. You'll see his pictures on the site.
Yeah, they're really beautiful.
But to really paint the picture for you guys, we actually recorded a few minutes of our thoughts in the restaurant. So here it is.
So Oliver, what do you think about Le Dome?
I think anyone that says it's just for tourists
Yeah.
Wrong.
Really?
This isn't just a tourist.
Okay.
I haven't seen a single tourist here besides you.
Guilty.
No, this seems really authentic, honestly.
It does. And what do you feel like about the decor?
It feels... You said it feels like... What did you say about Titanic? Because that was legit.
I felt like it feels like a disco Titanic, sort of.
Because it is this old school, a lot of like wooden paneling. It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
But also there's a like a disco
Like a
ball
disco
strip hole in the
Hole. Yeah.
middle. That doesn't fit.
No stripper.
No.
No.
No, but I mean the place is really cool and the vibe
It's
is really
great.
nice. The
And,
food so far has been really good.
I feel like it's all about the waiters. The waiters are amazing and super attentive and make you feel like the only guest here.
Tell about the guy that brought you in here.
Yeah, it was this elderly gentleman, and I came in and I was like, "We have a reservation in French." I was like, "We have a reservation in the name G," but I think maybe that you got it down as Gérard.
Yeah, because when I reserved it, I said, c'est G comme Gérard, and he goes, Gérard, très bien.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay, I'll be Gérard.
Sure, whatever. Merci. And he was like, "Okay, don't worry, little madam. I'll take care of you. Take my
Hang
arm."
on, what was Little Madam?
Well, he was like,
Mademoiselle?
Yeah, something like, in my head it was like little madam, but it was charming, not in a condescending way. And he was like, "Take my arm and I'll take you to your table." And I was like, "Okay."
There's a lot of, where we're sitting, there's a lot of signs of artists. We see Giacometti, whose museum we visited earlier. I presume that Hemingway's somewhere here. Do you feel like there is an artist vibe living on? Or, and you must be honest, do you feel like that day is gone and we're all tourists here?
Do I feel like it's enrobed? Enrobed in history? Yes. Do I feel like it's touristy? Yes. I don't feel like the artists and the creators of today, maybe.
The Instagrammers and stuff, or
I mean,
the TikTokers?
Okay, I mean, maybe, yeah, those, but not like that bohemian vibe and the really creative. No, it's too expensive.
I feel like there's a very strong similarity between here and places like Café de Flore, Café de Magou in the 6th arrondissement. And I think if that's what you're expecting, if that's what you want, you're going to love it here.
Yeah. I mean, anyone would love it here. It's great. It's beautiful.
I think our main course is arriving.
All right.
Now that a little bit of time has passed, Lena,
Yeah.
do you have fond memories of it?
I do.
Yeah.
I thought it was really nice. I really loved the interior. I thought it was like, yes, it was touristy to a point, but definitely worth it.
I would recommend it too.
Yeah.
Nice seafood. I'm I'm such a sucker for ordering something on the menu that says like, the Ernest Hemingway.
yeah.
So we got the Ernest Hemingway
Yeah.
special, and everything had 2 choices, and we had one of each.
Yeah, it's like a set menu,
Yep.
sort of, with a few choices in it.
Delicious.
It was good.
Yeah,
It was
so-
good. It wasn't maybe like the best food for the price tag, but the ambiance was definitely great.
Is the price tag going to come back in your scores?
Maybe.
Okay. I'll tell you what was a tourist trap. Le Coupole, just down the road.
Yeah, I wonder why. I mean, I wonder why that was just not that good.
It was...
Yeah, it was. And I feel like maybe because we went there so late. Was it better earlier, you think?
I think we went late. You know what we did? We went 100 years late.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Because
No, it felt like a tired cruise ship.
It did, didn't it?
Like tired.
Yeah.
Like really tired.
And we were also tired. To be
Yeah,
fair,
we were also really
But we did that
tired.
thing where we transported ourselves back to our early days of Paris. And in our early days of Paris, we never went to nice restaurants.
No,
ever.
no.
But we did this kind of thing where we just jump into places. And we did that. We walked
a
past
lot
it.
of bar hopping.
Yeah. And we were just like, let's just
hopping.
grab a dessert. So we went in. Firstly, worst lighting I've seen in Paris.
It's horrendous.
It was atrocious.
Yeah, like
it was
really
atrocious.
bright in all the wrong places.
You know what it reminded me of?
No.
You ever been to a discotheque, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end of it, you go in.
Have you?
Everyone at home, I don't go out very much. But after, and you go for like McDonald's afterwards, and the lights are like, oh, what? Oh, it felt like that.
Yeah.
It was.
It's McDonald's.
Yeah, it was
After a
McDonald's
good
lighting.
night. And they're trying to be the good night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The food, I don't know, the dessert didn't leave any memory on me at all.
No, it was ice cream.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was fun to see.
Tick.
Yeah.
That was the ultimate tick of the bucket list kind of thing.
Definitely.
If you got a
I
choice,
don't think
go
I'll
to
go
Le
back.
Dome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So different.
Let's finish up with the next morning. Really quickly, we did cool stuff again. We went to the only good coffee shop in the neighborhood, apparently. It's the only good
The
one we
only
found.
specialty coffee
Specialty
shop.
coffee, yeah. We went to the Hexagon. Hexagon, quite all right.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's nice.
I didn't find it wasn't cozy. The coffee was great.
Yeah.
I got a takeaway flat white. Hit the
I mean,
spot.
it was nice. It was nothing like crazy special or...
If you compare it to like Khartoum in the 7th,
Yeah,
you should go to the 7th.
I'd say so
Yeah.
too.
But
But
we-
definitely good enough.
We did find a gem next to it.
Yeah.
I say gem. There was a curiosity shop next to it called Ussi, like as well, Aussi, run by an Italian Sicilian. A Sicilian.
Eccentric gentleman.
The most eccentric man I've met for a long time. Felt like a character out of Amelie.
Wore a top hat
He did have a top hat.
with a headlight on.
Yeah.
Something
like a
maybe the
catacombs
Comte
light.
would like.
Oh, the Comte would love him.
Yeah.
go and-
well, at
go and
least
check
his
him out.
headgear.
So this
They share style.
the-
They share
this-
similar style and headgear.
The shop is a cabinet of mystery. Kind of place where you'd find like a gas mask from the Second World War next to one of his own paintings, next to a packet of cards with Picasso paintings on
Yeah.
it. I don't know if it was a museum.
I don't
or
know
a shop.
how it goes around.
I don't think he knows how he goes around.
Yeah.
But I did interview him a little bit. So here's a few moments with Jacopo Leone. So we start with easy questions. What's your name?
Jacopo Leone.
Okay, and you're from Sicily.
I'm from Sicily.
And how long have you lived in Paris for?
I've been here now is almost 8 years, but with one leg in Italy and the other leg in Sicily.
That's a big stretch.
Yes, because and that's why I'm falling in the water very soon, because it's impossible to play two games in the same. But I love this. I really love. It's not. Yes, it's kind of multitasking, real multitasking, because it's not only something that is in your mind to be able to think different things. It's very interesting to be able to do different things in the same time.
And that's what you talked about with this shop. Did this shop open yet?
It's not open yet. I mean, it's 2 years that I'm working on it. But then with the crisis, the COVID, I had to stop everything. And so now, yesterday, after 2 years, for the first time, I make some space in order to acquire 3 people. 3 people can come
space to
inside.
welcome
Yes,
3 people.
yes, we welcome 3 people. But the most important thing is that this is a shop that don't sell. The goal is not to sell the object, is to absorb the memory of the object. In a way, I say this is an imaginary place that really exists for a short time. I really don't know how long this short time is. So I just hurry up yesterday to open the door, because you can't close before you are open. It's like you can quit someone if you are not married. So
It's true. That's true. Let me ask a very practical question.
Yeah.
How can you pay the rent if you don't
I
sell
can't.
objects?
I can't. This is the problem. I mean, I can't. I'm trying. I sell my painting. This is the main stuff. But, this is not a place where to make money. This is a place where to make the money enough to pay the rent.
Right.
So it's like the economy of this place is the story, is to talk with people, is to leave the sidewalk, is to start again from the beginning, to live our life in a different way, and not to be afraid of what happened. And if it happened that the landlord put me at the door, I'm not afraid. I'm a little bit sad, but I mean, we have to agree of what we say is economical. For me, there is economy also in the feeling. There is economy also in the memory. There is economy. So I am sure that the money will arrive, and a lot of money. I hope I will be there at that time.
Yeah.
But it's just to resist the question. So, in a way, I like always to change my opinion and my mind in order to allow me to go further. I mean, if I lose everything, but I gain my freedom, this is the biggest goal of my life.
I get it. And I want to come in and look around, but I'm also afraid I might never come out again.
No, you will come out and full of intuition, full of feeling, full of...
Man, I think you're like a magician or something.
In a negative way, yes. You know, who was that turned gold, everything he touched? Everything I touch is not gold.
Like an alchemist, the opposite of an alchemist.
Yes.
I want to ask you one last question before I need to run.
Yeah.
Do you live in the 14e arrondissement?
Yes.
Okay. Can you explain to anyone listening, how would you define the 14th?
This is Paris. This is the last drop of Paris. When I never go in the other side, in the center of Paris. For me, that is the la banlieue intérieure. This is changing very fast. This is a place where you still have relation in the street between people, and you have different people. Difference is the secrets. That's why I'm doing this window in this shop, putting different things together, putting also fragile things together in order to be strong. So Paris was a city made of difference, and now it's changing. It's going to be the same thing, and it's going to die, of course. And yes, I think different is the most interesting things.
Perfect.
We can live all together, different people, different mind, different face, different pocket, wallet, different idea, different coffee, yes, and different wine.
Quite the character.
Yeah.
Quite the character indeed. And sort of, I'm not going to say he summed up the neighborhood, but he did in terms of friendliness. Like, I felt we
He was
ended up
very
chatting with a lot of
open.
people.
Yeah. Open
But-
and inviting.
But just down the road from that, there was a cool thing. Those enormous pillars as we walked through that really modern building.
Oh, yeah. What was that all about?
No idea. But
Yeah,
I think we
me
took
neither.
pictures of it, so I'll share it and we'll do that properly. But we didn't plan to talk about that. I just remembered about it. But it was on the way to the this church. Now, this was a find. This was cool. The name of the church is the Église Notre-Dame du Travail, like work, du travail. And what was cool about it is the interior. I don't think you've ever seen this in a
so
church before.
different.
It was like steel or iron, perhaps, like metal taken from the Universal Exhibition.
So it kind of looked like the Eiffel Tower inside.
It did.
Yes,
like
it
a skeleton
did.
of the Eiffel Tower.
It did.
Yeah.
Like a transformer Eiffel Tower
Yeah.
that transformed into a church.
And it was beautiful, strangely
Yeah.
beautiful. So we went and had a little look around that.
And it was really interesting. So it had the metal construction, and then the walls were all painted in what I felt was a really Scandinavian style of painting churches. As I don't know what it's called, but we call it Jugend. The
Isn't
style.
Jugend Art Nouveau? I think it is.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes,
So there's an Art Nouveau style.
yeah. It was all like it was quite pretty. A lot of floral, swirly. Yeah.
We got pictures. I even did some YouTube filming in there. You'll be able to see it, but really cool. Worth checking out for everybody. Let's finish on our scores.
Aha.
We had so much to get through and we wanted to share it all, so we did it as quickly as we could this episode. But now we're on the scores.
Were you harsh?
No, the opposite.
Were you? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so let's go as we usually do. These are the scores, how we're going to eventually rate all the arrondissements. If any of our scores differ greatly, we'll discuss. If not, we'll get on with it. The
Okay.
strollability of the 14th arrondissement.
You go first.
7.
Me too.
Perfect. Very strollable.
Yeah, that's strollable.
What about affordability?
5.
Oh, now I put 8.
8.
Yeah.
Wait, is that cheap or not?
I'm saying it's cheap. I thought it was cheap. The
I
museum was free.
but the dome, that was
The
expensive.
dome was expensive.
I feel like it was just like it wasn't cheap, it wasn't expensive. It was like meh, in the middle.
Well, it's funny because I
It's a 5.
initially put a 7 and I pushed it up to an 8 because
Really?
it was. No, I think you're more right in this one. I think I'm more wrong. I just got happy.
You,
in the 14th.
yeah.
But most of the
You're
stuff
very
that
excited about
most of the
this.
stuff was not Central Paris prices. I thought.
No. But still, like you have that other Rue Claire street. It wasn't cheap.
It's true.
You
You can get a cheap crepe. You can get a cheap crepe.
Yeah. Okay. Shareability.
You might be more right on that one. Shareability, 7.
Me too.
Good. Tourist ability,
7.
6.
Oh.
What about accessibility?
5.
4.
Okay.
What was your total score out of 50?
31.
I gave 32.
Ooh.
So that puts it to 63.
That
which
is a good
that's got to be
score.
the only score that was higher was
all-time
Montmartre. Montmartre was higher
yeah.
than that. Wow.
Wow,
Congratulations.
that is an unexpected gem.
Congratulations to the
Yeah.
14th. You, the unexpected surprise package of
Yeah,
Paris.
you ripper.
Yeah, you little beauty. I want to say a few things. Firstly, important, the thank you. Thanks to Julene for babysitting.
In the cabane.
In the cabane. Excellent place, the cabane. Secondly, all the links are going to be below, but also on the website. Thanks to Eddie for editing and editing the beautiful YouTube videos. Now, they are good. YouTube has gone...
Yes, it's so exciting.
So many new subscribers, so many new comments and video views and stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff over there.
So check that out. Thanks to Charlotte Pleasance for researching this for us and putting together the blog posts.
Yep.
And this week to Jeremy for the photos that you're going to see from Rosebud and the iconic Le Dome restaurant.
And thanks to you, Oliver.
Thanks to you, Lena.
Oh,
but
thank you.
forget about us.
Oh.
Thanks to Patreon members. Literally making this happen. Everything that you've heard, the dinner, the restaurant, same thing.
The
dinner and the
MVPs.
restaurant. But the hotel, the travel, the babysitter. This is what the Patreon goes towards. The Patreon stuff. In return, besides just making it happen, there are extras. This week, I'm going to reshare the replay of me walking through the Vanves flea market. So that's just for you guys on Patreon. No one else can see it. It's my way of saying thank you. And there's going to be more to come like that in the arrondissements to come. And speaking of that, the 13th is next week. Another ripper.
Yeah,
It
was
is
a good one.
ripper. It is a ripper. It is.
Is Ripper Australian?
You know why I think it was
that
so
an
good? Yeah, I
Australian
think so. You know why I think the 13th was so good, like the 14th?
Because we didn't expect it, maybe.
And we don't go there.
Yeah.
So we
so
had
it
this...
felt like a holiday.
Yeah, and we were there with fresh eyes. I'm hoping it'll be the same for the 12th. We don't spend that much time there either. But we just found so many cool things in the 13th. And we're really excited.
Any sneak peeks?
Sneak peeks?
Should we mention something? What do you think?
I will give you a clue. The song you're going to hear is one of the most famous songs by Charles Trenet. So if you think about what that song is, you might be able to guess where we stayed. Also, I got into one of the most magnificent shops that show Paris in a paper form that you will ever see. And I got plenty of videos and an interview with the owners. That's all I'm going to say.
Very good.
Eddie, hit the outro music. Everybody, thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe, tell your friends, and if you can, become a Patreon supporter. Patreon.com/The Earful Tower. Merci beaucoup for listening.
Merci. Thank you.
À la prochaine.
Bye.